We all agree that Cuban citizens should be able to speak freely and without fear. We also agree that the rule of law is incompatible with arbitrary detentions. And we all believe that the Cuban people, like people everywhere, should be able to choose their government through free and democratic elections. This said, the question today is how we engage with Cuba. We must do this based on our values and our interests. Since 2016, we have had a political dialogue and cooperation agreement with Cuba agreed by this Parliament and European Union member states. I understand that many of you here feel the agreement has not delivered as much as we would hope. However, in the midst of Cuba's severe economic crisis and broader global instability, the objectives of this agreement remain relevant: to promote reform, encourage respect for human rights, and accompany Cuba's economic and social modernization while promoting European values and protecting European interests. The agreement gives us a structured framework. This framework provides space for us to talk about issues where we agree, but especially on those that we differ. These include sensitive topics like human rights, arrests and disproportionate sentences, or Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. The agreement is not the way to ignore our differences. It is a way to address our differences. President, honourable members, this agreement has not yet delivered the kind of change we want, but it has contributed to meaningful developments. For example, progressive provisions in the 2019 Constitution, the adoption of a new family law, or the emergence, albeit timid, of a private sector. We also welcomed the release of 553 detainees, as agreed with Vatican and in line with the EU's long-standing calls. But yes, setback persists. The recent revocation by Cuban courts of the conditional release of José Daniel Ferrer and Felix Navarro is deeply concerning. The EU responded with a statement calling on Cuban authorities to review these sanctions, these decisions, and to release all individuals detained for exercising their rights for peaceful assembly and freedom of expression. We must also consider the wider geopolitical context. Cuba has historic ties with Russia. In fact, the President is currently going to attend the Victor Day in Moscow. Yet, Cuba has abstained in 6 UN votes on Russia's aggression in Ukraine, including the most recent. Cuba also plays a role on the multilateral stage. We must assert our positions firmly and consistently, especially with influential actors and where our views are not shared. To conclude, the agreement is not the silver bullet. We all understand that. But in the face of economic distress and shifting geopolitical dynamics, it remains the European Union's best shot at promoting our values, defending our interests, and supporting reform. It is also means to counter the influence of the global actors. This is also a policy of many of our member states who hold regular dialogues and consultations with Cuba. Diplomacy is not the art of the ideal, but of the possible. It is also about dialogue, especially where there are differences. Thank you.